timeshare is an investment. You'll be able to rent it out. You'll be able to
Hey, Lisa, are you there? Yep.
Yeah.
So I'm having to have to log back on. I'm going to make the host and I'll log back in. Okay.
Ooh, yeah. Yeah.
All right. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning. Can you guys hear me okay? I have a different little makeshift office going on right now. So my lighting isn't as good. You guys can see me though. So happy Aloha Wednesday. And we have a very special guest today. So I am going to whip through some of the other slides, just make sure we cover everything that we have. And we're going to get started. And then I am heading right to the airport on a plane to Orlando for family reunion to see some of you there. So I'm pretty excited about that. I start my travels today. So welcome to our team meeting for February. I like to put a reminder of our mission statement in here sometimes so we can really think about how this impacts our own lives and the lives of others around us, and also leads us really well into our mission moment that we have you guys share on. So this will kind of remind you when we talk about the mission moment, what we're talking about. So the mission of, and this is the mission of Keller Williams Realty, to build careers worth having, businesses worth owning, lives worth living, experiences worth giving, and legacies worth leaving. And your team wakes up every day with this mission statement in mind to make sure that these things happen for you. That's our basis for helping you and supporting you and running this company. So when you think about a career worth having, a business worth owning, a life worth living, an experience worth giving, and a legacy worth leaving, where do you see that show up? So I don't know, Latasha, yeah, the black box, whatever you've got going on, it keeps appearing over the slides. Thank you, Christine. So tell me does somebody have an example of a mission moment where they've seen this show up in their life or in the life of someone around them? And it's also an opportunity to acknowledge somebody that's done something for you. It could be another agent. It could be somebody that's not on this call. So who'd like to share a mission moment? And then I don't know what's happening with your slides, with those boxes. Latasha, maybe it's just a kind of a temporary thing you're working on.
No, it's just my headers to keep track of what's going on. So.
Okay, do you need me to run should I run them or?
Sure, if you want to, that's fine. I can, hold on.
I mean, I can, okay, well, I'm not prepared. So let me get that. I have two presentations running at the same time. So I will pull it up. See if I can do this. It's gonna not be you're gonna have to see it in slide mode. It's the only way I'll be able to do it. Hold on. You know what, Latasha, I am going to need you to do the video portion of it. So is it possible to do it without those headers popping up, or do you need that?
The headers allow me to do the back end stuff. So I do need it. So do
you want me to just take over admitting people?
No, I can still do that.
Okay. Okay, go ahead and let me just share this. Give us a sec, you guys. All right, so I'm gonna do this and we're gonna have to see it a little bit small. Can you guys see that okay? And I'm just gonna have to hide you. Can you guys see that?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Great, thank you. All right, let's go back to the mission moment. Dawn.
Talked about this with the ALC previously.
My dad's had some very serious health issues going on. So I've actually been in Texas 4 out of the last 5 months, and will be here an unknown amount of time going forward. If it wasn't for my career in real estate and the technology that KW provides, this would not be possible. We've talked about how if I had my old job 9 to 5, Monday through Friday, it was really like 6 to 4. There's no way I could be helping out my mom and dad like I am right now. So this has made a gigantic difference. And then you throw in the fact that with the wealth building committee and just the focus on real estate, our net worth has jumped dramatically. There's nothing I can say more about Keller Williams in real estate that I could do anything anywhere near as well in any other career. So this has been definitely, it's made a life worth living, a career worth having, business worth owning. It hits all those things because I couldn't do any of these without KW.
Wow. Thanks so much, Dawn, for sharing that. And yeah, I'm sorry you have to go through some of the stuff that you're dealing with, and we definitely support you and love you and appreciate that. And I'm so glad that you're able to have that freedom to take care of that, because that is the most important thing. So thank you for sharing that. Catherine, I saw your hand. I don't know if you wanted to share.
No, I'm sorry. I was trying to turn on the video. Sorry about that. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
No.
Okay. Well, good job. That's how you raise your hand. You did a great job. Okay. Does anyone else? If you do, you have to raise your hand because I'm running the slides. So I won't see you otherwise if you're. Okay. I am going to go on. And if we have any others, you guys can pop in. I wanted to celebrate and wish everybody happy birthday who had or has a February birthday. So happy birthday to everybody here. Does anybody have a birthday today? Normally I look before the meeting. I didn't check today. Is anybody today, the 16th, that's on the call? Okay. Well, happy birthday to all our February babies. And if your birthday is in February or not on here, let us know. Although we're pretty good about getting the birthdays. Okay, bucket filling. Betty White, sad loss for the world. So I love the gift. Who has a bucket fill? Can be similar to the mission moment. It's more specifically about somebody's bucket that you want to fill, that you appreciate or has done something for you.
I'll go. This is Julie Ching.
Hi, Julie.
Hi. I just want to give a shout out to our awesome Director of Operations, Calista Guerpo. I tried to take yesterday off and so did Dennis, and it didn't happen. So she cleared our calendar for the 22nd. She blocked it off, and she's
trying to take our computers away from us.
She's threatened to take our phones and computers away from us. And I just appreciate how well she looks after us. So thank you, Calista.
Awesome. Great job, Calista.
You're
Love
welcome. That. Thank you.
Okay, you guys, I'm just going to open the chat box to see if there's anything in there.
Lisa, Tim Burns here. I'll go.
Hi, Tim. Yeah.
Good morning. I'd like to thank Andy Madrid. I got a referral while I'm here visiting the mainland, and he just jumped on it right away. I already heard from the client how impressed she was that he was so informative about the Big Island. And there was maybe, 12 hours between the time I met her at the shopping center and Andy gave her a call, gave her information, some comparatives, and was all over it. So thank you, Andy. You made me look real good.
Awesome. Great. Good job, Andy. Love that. Okay, you guys, I saw Sasha wrote that Jill Aldenay's birthday is today, so I will make sure that I text her if she's not on and wish her a happy birthday. Thank you for letting me know that. All right, congratulations to our cappers who have capped since our last meeting. So Chris Machold, congratulations for capping. Barrett, congratulations to you on capping. Sue, congratulations, Sue, on capping. And then we had a few people that had their first transaction either with us or just as an agent in general. So I know that Dave closed his first transaction. So congratulations to him. I got to see him last week, I think. And then congratulations to Logan on his first closing, his transaction. And then Tanya had her first closing with us. So we're super excited about that. Congratulations to Tanya. And if you guys are on our private Facebook page, you'll see some of these posts over there too. And if you're not on our private Facebook page, get on it. Send an email. If you need an invite, you can send it to Shelby or Latasha. They can invite you, or just go look up Keller Williams Realty Maui and you should find it. It's a private group, but you'll be able to find it publicly. And then congratulations to Benjamin for his first closing as well. Great job, you guys. Okay, and then we'd love to welcome everybody who joined us since our last meeting. So in February, Renata, she joined us. She's awesome. I got to meet with her. Eric, I also got to meet with Eric, and he's great. Chris, I got to meet with Chris too. Look, I got to meet with all of you guys. Wonderful people joining us this month. Camilla, Jamin, and Elizabeth. So welcome to you guys. And Forrest Gump says welcome as well. And then congratulations to those who were our growth partners for February, which means that they sponsored somebody who joined the company and introduced us to some of those great agents. So Lynn, Dean, Tammy, Tyler, and Brody, congratulations to you guys for building profit share and helping someone else in the process of doing that. Great job. Okay, talking about market trends, we like to show what's going on nationally in our industry and then regionally and locally. So if we look at our national numbers through KW, you'll notice for, I like to look at year to date. You can look at month over month as well, but she's actually got them the same. So year to date is, you can see that we're up in several categories. However, we are down a little bit in closed units, and we're down in listings taken, which I would say that's the most significant thing to take a look at, which makes sense given the low inventory, but also we're starting to see a regular trend of this happen where listings taken is down, listings taken volume is relatively down, at least on a national level. Listings sold down a little bit and contracts written down a little bit. So other than that, we're up in closed volume, which makes sense because of pricing, listings sold volume, and still up in contracts written volume, and then closed GCI, which makes sense that you guys, the agents in general, are making more money because the price points are higher. So you guys killed it in GCI last year. It was insane how much our agents in particular earned in GCI last year. And then if we look at our region, this is Northern California and Hawaii, we will see some similarity. However, listings taken in Northern California and Hawaii is significantly down compared to the rest of the country. So we're about almost double in listings taken being down, and then listings taken volume, listings sold, contracts written. So we're starting to see a little bit more of a trend when we look at a few months in a row of this happening, which was not the case, right, all last year where everything was just going up, up, up. And then in our local market, we're always outpacing the entire country and our region in many of the categories. So that is not uncommon. Our closed volume is insane. I mean, being up 61%, listing sold volume is up. Closed GCI, I mentioned, was really, really high. So we're only seeing that decrease at this point in listings taken volume, so which is consistent across the country. Listings taken, we are still up a little bit. So that's one we're just going to keep watching and keep doing what you're doing, you guys, and going out there and finding the inventory, having the conversations with people, letting them know what's going on in the market, solving their problems about where they're going to go, and helping them to figure that out so that they can take advantage of the market, those that it makes sense to do that. Just keep them informed. That's our job, right? Okay, I also want to celebrate those who contributed to KW Cares. So let me see here. I'm just looking at the chat box. Okay, yeah, Andy is amazing. So thank you to those who continue to contribute to KW Cares: Randy, Tammy, Marcy, Laura, Rochelle, Carol. Rochelle's on here twice. Awesome. Maybe she contributed a lot more. And Kayao and Lee. So thank you for your contribution to KW Cares, you guys. All right, let's look at some of our rankings for January. So congratulations to those with the highest close volume overall. As an individual agent, Dean Otto. Team was the Hawaii team. So congratulations to you guys and Dan and Chris, and then Tyler Coons, Maui. Pretty incredible month there and closed volume. Off to a good start, you guys. Okay, top individuals in closed volume, listings sold volume, and GCI. Dean. Listings taken volume and written volume was Sue, and listings taken units, written units, closed units, and listings sold units. A lot of categories for Katie. She's very, very consistent. So you guys are awesome. Congratulations. And now our top teams: Pono, Maui, Hawaii, Jim and Michelle, written volume. Homes and Chocolate, written units and closed units. Blue Marlin, Derek and Elizabeth, listings taken units. The Hawaii team, closed volume and GCI. And Team Ching and Yates, listings taken volume and listings taken units. Way to go, you guys. Off to a very good start. So that's the way to do it. Build some momentum for the rest of the year, and then it doesn't matter what the market does if we're consistent and we're able to do that every month. Top groups: the Maui team, Mark and Andy and Kristen. Congratulations to you guys. Listings taken volume, written volume. The 808 team, listings taken units, closed units. Todd and team. Our teams are growing, which is awesome. So if it's like the 808 team, my groups are getting really big to name everybody. Aloha Group Maui, although we will recognize everybody for our awards banquets. So congratulations to Aloha Group Maui, the Potson team, and Tyler Coons Maui for closed volume, listing sold volume, and GCI. Okay, I wanted to give you guys a little bit of a snippet. Those of you who are going in person will get to see, to family reunion, we'll get to see Sean H. Shore. I think it's H or H Core, he says it in the video. And he's the author of The Happiness Advantage and Big Potential. Those are two books that he wrote, and Gary selected him to be a keynote speaker for family reunion. His speech will also be available virtually. However, keep in mind that is probably going to be super early in the morning. So unless you're a very early riser, you may want to watch it after it's already run, and then they'll show the replay of it. I don't know how long it'll be before you get to see it, but I wanted to share a little video with you, and I'm going to stop for a moment because I did not share it with sound. So now I'm going to do that. And that way you'll be able to hear this.
Hi, I'm Sean A. Core. I'm the author of The Happiness Advantage and Big Potential, and a happiness researcher in the field of positive psychology. I am so excited and grateful for the incredible opportunity to get to join you, to get to share this incredible research that we've been doing over the past decade. I got fascinated by looking to see if we could research not just things like depression and disorder, but if we could use psychology and science to find out why it is that some people could rise above their genetic threshold and their environment, to raise their levels of happiness by changing their daily routines, or changing their habits, or changing the way that they interacted with other people. And when we found that change was possible, what we were stunned to find is that when the human brain became happier and more positive, every single business and educational outcome we knew how to test for rose dramatically. And what we found is that when we linked those two ideas together, we found something incredible. What it means is that the greatest advantage in the modern economy is a positive and engaged brain, but that we don't have to just be our genes and our environment. By changing our habits and the way that we interact with other people, we could actually reap that advantage within our lives. So I can't wait to share this research about how we can create rational optimism in the midst of the challenges and the messiness of life. How we can, in the midst of challenges, maintain the belief that our behavior matters while also taking a realistic assessment of the present. How we can then use that rational optimism to start bringing in positive habits into our life. I'll talk about 5 positive habits that we've been researching that take less than 2 minutes a day. But when we do them, they create huge impacts not only upon our lives, but it ripples out through our entire ecosystem around us. Which leads to the final conclusion, which is that happiness is not an individual sport. The greatest predictor of long-term levels of happiness is your social connection score. It's other people. It's the breadth, depth, and meaning in our social relationships. So we need to find a way of pursuing our happiness and success in an interconnected way and find a way of lighting up together in the dark, creating these virtuous cycles that allow us to not only create that rational optimism, but to sustain it. I can't wait to share this research with you, the science, how I've seen it impact my own life, and case studies of how we've seen it impact people in the 50 countries that I've traveled doing this research with. And I can't wait to get to share that research with you.
Awesome. All right. Has anybody heard of Sean or read his book? Just out of curiosity, if anybody has any experience with him. Cool. All right. I also get to see, I'm really excited, on Friday, Duncan Wardle, who was the director of innovation for Disney for 25 years. He's going to be a speaker on Friday. So that's another great event I'm going to. And of course, as I do every year, I'll bring back, and a lot of us will bring back, some good nuggets and notes for you guys for the stuff that you're not able to see through virtual. But there's a lot of great stuff that's going to be on virtual. So reminder for those who are going, and also for those who are attending digitally or virtually, they're doing it a little bit different this year. If you've done it before, they actually have what they call breakout tracks, the first day of breakout sessions, where they have one room that is set up for each topic or group of people. So they have one room for like 5 hours that's focusing on single agent, one room that's focusing on like a team, a single agent team, and then a team expansion, and for leadership. So people who are going are going to pick what room they want to be in. And then if you're watching it virtually, I think they're going to set it up where you can watch that particular room if you choose to. So it'll be really interesting the first day. And then the other days they're doing regular breakouts like we normally do. So just make sure that you have all of the information. The agenda has been posted. You can download the app. So very excited about that. Those who are attending in person, I just wanted to remind you, because I did send this in our group me, but some people may not have seen this. So I want to make sure that everybody's prepared on the COVID policy, which is if you don't have a vaccination card, then you do have to have a test upon arrival, like within 72 hours. It has to show a negative. It can be a home test kit. And then they're going to have masks. They're going to have lanyards, which actually is kind of a fun idea, where they're going to be color coded. So it tells people their level of comfort, because everybody's going to want to hug and kiss everybody. So if you are into that, it's going to be a green lanyard that you're wearing. And if you're not, then there's like a caution one that's like a yellow, which is like, oh, you can maybe get near me, but you know, don't hug or kiss me. And then there's a red, which is like, stay away from me. I'm just here to get the content and I don't want to touch anybody or get near anybody. So we'll see how that goes. It'll be really interesting. Okay. And then Sasha, I'm not sure if you have the time set yet. So I just wanted to have you share if you know when we're going to do. I know that, so Sasha's going to be here and she's going to be running after the digital portion. Actually, she's going to be doing some stuff in the market center where you guys can come and watch some of the digital portion, even if you aren't registered to do so. She's going to show some stuff in the office. Not all of it, but you know, a couple of things. And then she's gonna host at the end of the day an AHA and Insights Zoom for all of Hawaii. for our agents. So Sasha, do you know when that is going to be? I just put the days that we have the breakout sessions because I know it's going to be on those days. And I think it's around the end of the day. Do you have that set yet?
Nope, it's not undetermined. I was planning on noon because that's 5 o'clock in Orlando, and I'm working with Rochelle on that. So definitely plan on Monday recap with everything.
Okay. Okay, great. Cool. And then this, oh, I put another video in here. I watched these last night, but I don't remember. Let's see what this one is. Oh, yes. Okay. This is. Okay, so what is KW Prep? Does anybody know what that is? KW Prep? Who knows what KW Prep is?
It's for getting them ready for the real estate prereq course.
Yes, the pre-licensing course. So we don't have K-SCORE is the Keller Williams School of Real Estate, which is available in a lot of states, which is a free real estate school that people can take online. They're not offered in Hawaii yet. However, and we do have 2 real estate schools that we work with, so you could still send them to that. However, what this is saying to you is anybody that you know or meet that might want to get their real estate license, which by the way, there's a lot of people right now, they can go to take the KW Prep course that is available for Hawaii because it's national and we already registered for that and we pay for it. So I'm putting the link in the chat box. And feel free to share it with people because this is an opportunity to build profit share. And you can send people to this prep course, which is online, or to the School of Real Estate. Well, the prep course anywhere in the country. And then the School of Real Estate for Keller Williams, which is free, you can send them to that other places in the country as well. So yes, Teresa, do you have a question?
I do. I have several people that actually are interested in attending it, but they're in different states.
Yes.
2 of them are in states that have this school and 1 is not. But with that, when I sent them the links and whatnot, I don't see how you get credit for sending them. Is there a referral form that we need to send? How did they get picked up by a local brokerage?
So that's a good question. I thought that there was a place to put your contact information in there, but if you're saying that they are signed up without doing that, I think they're supposed to put in there who referred them. But if not, what you need to do is whatever state that they're in, you find the office that you would be referring them to, and then you just email the team leader. So you can look them up in the white pages. That would be the best way to do it, just to assure that they know that you've sent that person to them.
Okay.
Yeah,
I appreciate
that's what I would suggest doing right now if it doesn't give you that option.
Well,
in
they said that it didn't, I sent them the link because the link is there, but there was no.
I think it asks them who referred them when they fill out the information. Okay. So they would put you, but just in case, just send it to wherever they are, the office, and introduce them to the leadership there.
Okay.
Okay. All right. It's time for everybody's favorite monthly meeting game show. Who wants to be an MREA? What does MREA stand for? I can't hear you.
Millionaire real estate agent.
Very good, Karen. Good job. All right. So the question today is, what are the 2 it says employee. Okay. What are the 2 MREA employee talent types? Now, when it says employee here, that is like for teams too. So it's basically anybody who's bringing somebody on their team, or in any capacity, if you're going to work with somebody, what type of talent is there? Does anybody have an idea what types? It's 2 different types of talent. And they're, yes. Who knows that? Oh, what?
And I was going to say, this is the cul-de-sac thing, right?
Oh, no, wait, how can you see it?
It's on the right-hand side.
Oh, you can see that? You're supposed to not see that section, only this section.
We can
Why?
see that
Okay,
side.
wait, let me reshare. Boo, hold on. This is why I can't run the slides and do my presentation at the same time. So hold on. I'm going to reshare and hopefully only share that section. Why did somebody not tell me that before? Okay. There, that's what you're supposed to see.
Sent you a message, Lisa. You just didn't get it. Sorry.
No, I didn't get it. I can't do both of these things at once. You know what? Once we have a front desk person, we will like have this problem solved. So we're winging it and we're doing okay. So now that I told you what it is, tell me. So tell me what it is and what that means. Somebody, what does it mean? And why do we care? Why is this important, you guys? Okay. See, okay, well, we didn't see it anyway. Nobody's paying attention. So it doesn't really, no, I'm just kidding. Nobody's reading my stuff. That makes me feel better. Okay, so the first type of talent is capacity talent. What does that mean if you have somebody that's capacity talent? Is that good or bad, do you think? If I'll give you a hint, if the other type of talent is cul-de-sac talent, what sounds better? Somebody that has capacity or somebody that's cul-de-sac talent?
Capacity.
Great. Okay. So capacity is somebody that can do the current job that they're doing and has the ability and capacity to learn more, take on new tasks and responsibilities. So for example, if you've ever taken a KPA or anybody who is a rainmaker that has somebody take a Keller personality assessment to determine whether that person is a good fit for their team, when they get the job matches sheet, and if you've ever taken a KPA or looked at your job matches sheet, it will show like high marks in certain areas and mid-level marks in other areas and low marks in other areas. And that just means as far as a match for the role. But what we often look at is if somebody is a high match for a variety of roles, that typically means that they have capacity. They have the ability to do more. They're going to take on more. They're able to handle that. Some people aren't. Now, does that mean you're not going to hire somebody that's cul-de-sac talent, which cul-de-sac talent would be somebody who does what they're hired for in that job really well, but they may not have capacity to do more. They may not want to grow. They may not want to take that on. They may not be really great in a very high-paced environment. So when you're looking for people, we do like to work with people in general that have capacity because they tend to help take us further. So that is your MREA lesson for today is capacity talent, cul-de-sac talent. There's also different types of talent and how to identify talent at all. That's a whole nother class. And if you want to know more about that, take career visioning at your local market center or online. Okay, Command Mobile App Challenge. You want to talk about this real quick, Latasha?
Yes, so this is a pre-advertisement. We are actually going to be launching a Command mobile app. So for those of you that have not started using it, or for those of you that are using it, we are going to run a challenge. It will run from March 1st to the 31st. And there are 4 things that we're asking you to do. We're asking you to make 5 calls, client calls, 5 text messages, 5 tasks and 5 notes. It's super easy. It's a win-win for everyone. You win because you're interacting with your clients directly from your mobile phone, and we win for supporting you. The prize will be a universal smart plan package, travel package that will have a charger, cords, a wireless fold up keyboard, and some additional other items. So everything that you need from a travel perspective. So that will launch March 1st through the 31st. And there will be 2 categories of winners. There will be an island winner. Smart Plan Challenge went to Oahu, so we are 1 and 1. And we will also have KW agent winners. So it will be a universal package for any iPhone or Android user. So hopefully you will join us for the Command Mobile App Challenge. Questions?
Yes. So you listed the 5555 and I can't see this. It's very small. Are you going to email that out?
Yes, it will be emailed out, but this is just the promo for it. So the email will include the flyer, and then there will also be a link in which once you complete those tasks, it'll just be a quick link that says you did it and you'll be entered to win.
Awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Cool. We love contests. Okay, so do you want to continue on? I'll just have you give all of our tech updates. Okay, awesome.
So for those of you that haven't noticed, we do have some animation in design. So super cool animation procedures, or excuse me, capabilities. So if you want to learn more, check out Designs in Command. If you want a tutorial one-on-one with me, reach out. We can do a one-on-one Zoom call, but it's super easy. GIFs can be incorporated. It's all in Designs. So it's really taking the animation to the next level as it relates to Command. So if you haven't checked it out, please do. Next slides will be about contacts.
Yep.
So contacts, so we've had some shifting in our contacts. So we're still perfect score, 5 out of 5 overall for the Market Center. Tyler continues to increase. Michelle Belt continues to increase, and Chris Rios. We've been fluctuating between number 3. So that's exciting. Gold, we have Billy that took over the spot. Jill for the last 2 months have been number 2 for gold, which is awesome for Jill on the Hilo team. And Nick has come up from the other category, and he's actually now in gold. So awesome. Next slide. Came up from silver. So silver, Teresa took over her spot. If you remember last month, her and Steve were in a tie. Teresa edged him out this month. So exciting progression. And Ben is rounding out the 3rd spot under silver. Bronze, Leola, she was number 2 last month. She is now number 1. And then Marcy jumped into 3rd place for bronze. So way to go from a contact standpoint.
Yay.
Smart plans, we continue to increase on this, although we are still perfect 5 out of 5. We continue to increase on percentage points, which is huge for us and for you, because that means you're interacting and you're utilizing the automation piece of the smart plan. So way to go, everyone. And finally, our vital signs will wrap up in terms of opportunities. So Rochelle Augustine Beck, the Homes and Chocolate, they had an increase of 34 opportunities. Todd Hudson 808 had an increase of 32, and Lee Potts had an increase of 8. And Katie Zimmerman is in the 4th spot, and she might overtake Lee Potts. So watch out, Lee and Aloha Group. So that's all I have. Thank you.
Yeah, watch out. Thanks, Latasha. Okay, I'm super excited to introduce our guest. I'm going to stop sharing the screen because I'm going to find her and we'll highlight her. I just want to give you a little bit of an intro to Jenny. She was actually introduced to me. Well, so Sasha had contacted with one of our former agents, and so I got into conversation with her. And it turns out that she's friends with Jenny, who was also there when I was meeting with this agent. And I'm just blown away. And the agent was telling me about Jenny. And I was like, wow, this is really fascinating. I've got to connect with her and chat with her a little bit more and find out more about what she does. And so after I spoke to her a little bit, I thought we have to have her on a call so she can talk about what she does. So I'm just going to give you a little bit of bio about Jenny. Her international portfolio, she's very worldly. She has done everything from small backyard edible landscaping to 1,000 acres of profitable agroforestry projects, watershed restoration. She does designs for clients that'll have, farm, cottage industry clients. Her current work is focused on climate resilient design, local food, home scale appropriate technologies. And she works with clients that are often really into and keen to growing food, which I know a lot of you are. Dean Otto, who posts his gardens all the time on Instagram, which I love. So garden beds for veggies, orchards, livestock. And they invest in solutions that will save money over time, such as catchments and, tanks, ponds, renewable energy system. She's very involved in that, passive and active solar, wind. She's really great at helping clients to get clarity about what they want to do on their property and understanding what fits their budget over time. And, basically it's permaculture design is a lot of what her specialty is, and agroforestry. And she says we all need to be a small part of local solutions, and it starts right in our backyards. And when I was talking to her recently, she said, she's on, that she's on her way to Costa Rica to go to a conference that includes, it's like an Indigenous women's conference. I don't know if she can talk about that a little bit. And she was talking about they have like ethical financing for buying land and doing these projects. So, I mean, talk about like a fascinating woman. She's like the James Bond of this industry. So Jenny Pell, let's find you. Oh, there you are. Awesome, Jenny. Okay, you are up. I'm going to spotlight you. Welcome. We're super excited that you're here, and I can't wait to hear what you have to share today.
Great. Thanks so much, Lisa. That's a fun introduction. Nice to see everybody here. What a big group you guys have. I apologize that my computer was dropped somewhere on a recent airlines. And so this is a brand new computer. So the slideshow that I had stacked up, none of my photos are on the new computer. Like I haven't changed it over. So I threw together some slides for today. But what I really want to talk about with you guys who are selling land to clients and helping match the client with the right piece of property. It's like zoning, really focusing in on what it is that their needs are over time. And there's a kind of a newish subset of real estate clients who are looking to land in the Hawaiian Islands because they recognize that the climate change realities are upon us now. So they want to have a resilient landscape. They maybe haven't grown food before, but they want to have fruit trees, or they want to grow a garden, or they want to have endemic species, or they want to protect their watershed, or they want to enhance their watershed. And so one of the things that I do in that context is my ability to read the landscape through my decades of experience of permaculture design and consulting is really different than what you are doing as agents representing the property. So I can come on a land and very quickly see the potential of what can grow here, what grows where, what the sun arc looks like, where the pond should go, what the water catchment system looks like, what are these redundant systems, and help the client get clarity about what they can do within their budget over what period of time on the land that they're thinking to buy. So one of my closest friends is also a real estate agent, and she often will just have me tag along on these sales and just sort of drop little nuggets about what I'm seeing versus what other people can see in the landscape. My clients right now are very diverse. I do everything from, let's say, a 1 or 2 acre, smaller Maui type property where people really want to grow food. And so I'm looking at it through an orcharding lens or a raised beds gardens lens, or, any of those things, or how to catch water on the land. Some people are really into native species and they want to have, endemic plants. I think all of us need to be planting more native species, and also looking at it like, can I have livestock here? What if I want to lease some of my land to a farmer? What's a good legal contract for those kinds of things? So I'll be very transparent. My climate-ometer is all the way over into the extreme end of the climate changes on now. And what are we doing individually? And what are we doing for our clients? And what are we doing in our neighborhood? Like, what's our kuleana now to help Maui and the Hawaiian Islands be climate resilient? I'm sure most of you know we import upwards of 90% of our food, and we can grow food year round here. So why aren't we doing more of that? How do we make it easy for people? If they're going to hire a landscape architect anyway and spend thousands and thousands of dollars on that, why aren't they hiring an edible landscaper? Let's encourage people to jump in and really participate in a way that helps us create resilient futures. We all have a role to play. We all have skills to learn. And I have a really short amount of time with you guys. So Lisa, you want to let me screen share and I will.
Yeah, you should be good to go.
Okay, let's see. Basic desktop 1. Let's see if that works.
I love that you have a new computer right now.
Oh my God, I seriously opened my backpack and it was bent like a 1/2 inch. The whole thing was broken. So, okay, it's taking me to a security and privacy window. I don't know what to do from here. Oh, well, it's okay.
It's too bad Latasha's not in your house. Can you see the screen that you need to share? Does that pop up when you hit share screen?
It does not.
Okay.
Oh, sorry, just to jump in, you may have to log back on and log So when you have a new computer and you haven't set it, given the privacy or acceptance permissions on your hard drive, you'll have to go back in and do that. So you may have
Or
to
if
log
you
in
want
on
to email them to me right now, I can share them. That's another option.
Okay, let me do that right now. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I went to get on the Zoom call and I
Yes.
couldn't get in the Zoom call either. I'm like, you have to download Zoom. I'm like, oh my
It's
God.
a little, the tech thing today for, I think everybody's a little bit, we had a little hiccup at the beginning too. We're good now though. Okay,
I'd like to say that this is worth waiting for.
Yes. Good job, Cheryl. So just let me know. I'm in
Hey,
my
Lisa,
email.
what's your email?
Lisa.financialnetwork. Super easy one. Lisa.financialnetwork@gmail.com. That's for anybody if you want to email me.
Network Lisa at
Lisa.financialnetwork@gmail.com.
At gmail.com. Okay, slides. Okay, so that's just a Google Drive slide file. Okay. All right, so let me get back to you guys. I can be on this call here. Okay, so what I do for my client, can you guys still see me? I somehow lost the Zoom window here.
Yep.
Okay, so what I do for my clients is when they hire me, what I'm trying to do is get them to really define for me what their goals are. Once I know their goals, it's kind of a cybernetics equation at that point. It's like, how do I help them steer towards those goals within their budget over what period of time? You can just make that a full screen, Lisa. And it's, and sometimes it's a partner's, like it's a husband and wife, or
give me a minute.
Yeah. And they don't always agree. And it'll be someone will be like, one partner will say, oh, I really want to have goats here. And I'll say, this is really not a great property for goats. And then the other person will say, see, I told you that was a bad idea. I'm like, no, goats are a good idea. They're just not good right here. So it's like, I'm also like counseling my clients when there's a couple involved. A lot of times people think they want to have a lot of systems and a lot of things going on. And one of the first questions out the gate is, do you need your design to earn income? Earning income from an installation is really different than having a hobby farm or growing some food in your backyard or having a couple citrus trees or things like that. If I understand with good clarity what it is they want to do in the land, the design evolves from that based on what the capacity of the land is. What I'm tapping into now on these days is that so in the carbon credits world, just go back to the first one, Lisa, we'll just stay there for a second. So in the carbon credits world, what's happening is that your company, Keller Williams, for example, could voluntarily say, we want to have a carbon neutral corporation globally, which would be a lot of trees to plant, right? And what happens in those voluntary carbon credit worlds is you might give your employees, twice or 3 times a year, you would have a volunteer day and you'd go plant trees, and you would take some of your, global budget and you'd put it into a carbon sequestration equation. So all your flights and all the things would be covered over the year. Other companies, have mandatory compliance rules for carbon credits. And what's happening is these deadlines are getting set and they have to spend the money or they're going to get fined these ridiculous amounts of money. And so what's in the pipeline right now are millions and millions of dollars. And it turns out that the Hawaiian Islands is one of the optimum places to do carbon sequestration. Trees grow year round. The subtropics are perfect. We get rain. And then the people that are paying the carbon credits, they don't really care what you do with the money. They're just trying to comply with what they've been mandated to do. So I have this, in this conference in Costa Rica that I'm going to, it's prefaced with the indigenous grandmothers, and then we're going straight into agroforestry, bioreserves, aggregating large sums of money to buy really big tracts of land where we can focus and funnel these carbon credit monies into agroforestry, reforestry, watershed management and protection, which of course the corollary of that is the reef protection, right? Because all that silt goes down the damaged watershed and kills the reef, which further creates problems in climate change, right? So we want to enhance all those things. Okay, so I'm going to launch into this part. So this was, I get to fly over clients' properties. Like they're like, okay, I'm like, we really need to get an aerial of this. We need to get some drone photography, but let's us get in a small plane or a helicopter and go fly over your land. I recently flew out to Hana for a client, and on the way, I got to take this beautiful picture. And so what we're looking at, in this watershed where you can see the trees coming all the way down into the watershed, right? And then up on the top on that one side is probably former cattle grazing or maybe still cattle grazing lands. So to be able to look at it through the lens of the combination of maximum carbon sequestration in a subtropical area that's going to integrate systems like livestock or food and create jobs and build biodiversity and resilience in a system, that's what I do. I help people understand that on the land where they are. You can go to the next slide. So this is me over in Molokai. I had a client, they're right down. This is actually a beachfront house. The deer pressure on Molokai is insane. They probably need to cull their herd like 90%. You cannot grow food there without a fence. And so the first part was designing the fence, and then, picking the fruit trees that they want, and, celebrating the entrance and making sure that, and they're not there all the time. So like these are if you're there every day and you love to garden, it's really different than you're going to come visit once in a while. So we want to make sure that those trees, have lots of mulch around them and things like that. What we're learning is that when you do fruit trees and agroforestry in concert with a combination of understory plants that give a variety of yields also, it actually helps the system sequester up to 8 times more carbon. And so planting a forest in the Pacific Northwest is really different than planting an agroforestry system in the tropics. And what we want to do now, even on these little fractal scales and the neighborhood scale, is help people put in the food that they love to eat or put in the ornamentals that they love to look at and get some other things growing as well. So we're all a little piece of the solution. So this little drawing on the side, this is me like just ripping out a little, a graphic of what the layout looks like and how you walk through the space and, all the different features that they want, in a design. Okay, go ahead to the next slide. This is a farm up here, up Olinda. This is Pono Grown Farms. Some people want farms. Some people want to lease some of their acreage to farmers. We want to come up with really excellent templates and boilerplates for your larger landowners. If they're going to lease 2 or 3 acres to a farmer, it needs to be a win-win for both, right? If you get 51% of your land in ag, your tax rates are going to go down. You're going to have access in the future to potential farm worker housing allowed on the site. There's all these different legal loopholes you have to get through to make growing food affordable. And we have to have windbreaks, and we want to have it be organic, and we want to have it things that are delicious, and we want to keep the pests out, and we want to have flowers. And so all of the things in the food growing equation. This is a sophisticated farm system here, permaculture style, but you can do this in raised beds and container gardens, and there's lots of ways we can help clients get little pieces of food solutions on their land. Go ahead. Okay, so this was fun. This was a property that I think just has gone into escrow. This was up on West Kuyaha, 820 West Kuyaha. My friend Ayako hired me to do a permaculture installation there, and she's selling it, and she's featuring the permaculture design as one of the selling points on the land. And this is a special type of V trellis, right? So the V trellis, when you prune the inside of the trees get more photosynthesis. The cables that go across support the branches, and the tree's energy grows into the fruit instead of into the trunk and the branches, right? So this is a system that's vetiver grass on a swale. So that low point in the system is a swale. When it rains, that captures the water, that waters the roots of the fruit trees and all the other plants. The vetiver is erosion control. It's also integrated pest management. And then you have this abundant fruits growing on these trellises. So I was hired to do the design, another local person was hired to do the installation, someone else was hired to do the management, and now it's increased the value of her property over time. Generally, you're not going to see in a real estate equation that, the fruit trees necessarily increase the value of the land. But for certain clients, you guys know this, for certain clients, if they show up and there's 30 citrus trees and there's a lychee tree and there's a mango tree and there's an avocado tree, they're pretty excited about that, right? I mean, that's a good feature on the land, particularly if it's designed well. Go ahead. Okay. So this is a kind of, so I have a maps guy. So on my team, I have my maps person. They're going to get the soil data. They're going to get the topographical data. They're going to get the, they're going to do all the, the boundary markers. They're going to, they're going to have where's the roads and access with what's on the land now. So when I have a client that's ready for a maps package, I have a couple right now, I call up my maps person. I'm like, I need a maps package for this TMK and I want to see the stuff around it. And so, and then I want it in CAD. I have my own CAD person, in-house CAD person, computer assisted drawing. They'll take these maps, they'll drop them in a CAD file, and I have my own artist. So if the project needs to raise money, then the artist will render something for the project, and then like that's a good way to help people visualize what the project can do. Go ahead. And let's see. So these are the kinds of things that people might want. Like, how do you get to be a part of the solution if you don't want to grow food? How do you, insert yourself? If you're moving to Maui and buying land, how do you as an agent translate that for your clients in a really compassionate and heartfelt way that they have kuleana too? You're moving to Hawaii. Like, what does it mean to be a resident of Hawaii? What does it mean to own a piece of land here in a changing time? And so this pollinator pathway, here's ornamentals. I don't care if you grow food, but I do want you to participate in solutions. And I want you to have a sensibility of yourself as a new arrival that, yeah, step up. And it's time to encourage people to step up. And if you're going to plant flowers, if you're going to plant shrubs, if you're going to plant native species, if you're going to plant canoe crops, or if you're going to do an agroforestry system or have raised beds, those are all parts of the solution. Whether you're going to do it yourself or you're going to do it part-time or you're going to hire someone, that's kind of my job, is to help understand what their capacity is in a system. Go ahead. The next slide. Okay, so this is one of my favorite features for clients that have budget, is rather than just doing a swimming pool, you can do a natural swimming pool. And a natural swimming pool is usually, like you can see, it's like a concrete box, or it looks kind of like a regular swimming pool, but it has a constructed wetlands all around the outside. So the biodiversity equation in a constructed wetlands is stunning. So you have these different depths of the water where you can grow different plants, and they're biofiltration plants. And there's a pump in the system that pumps the pool water through the constructed wetlands, and you don't need chemicals. And if you're on an ag property, it can count as an ag pond. So there's lots of other ways we can look at our redundant water systems. But if you have a water catchment tank and it overflows to your natural pond and construction wetlands, which overflows to an induced meander that's going to take it through the property, you've increased your biodiversity capacity on your land tremendously. Right. So that's what I'm looking for in these things. And so like, if you look up natural swimming pools in a Google search, you'll see all these different gorgeous ones. I just picked one that was really easy to see sort of how it works. Okay, go ahead to the next one. Okay, so this is my little garden. I'm a renter. I built these raised bed gardens, and when I left, the owners were returning and they didn't want any of it. So I just moved it all to Makawao in the last few weeks, and I'm rebuilding it here at my new rental. And I already have the bed built, and I already have like food growing in it. It took me a week. And so these are the kinds of things. It's a very simple design. If you look at in the background there, you'll see this hog wire trellis. So that's like cucumbers, lilikoi, peas, beans, jicama. Like you can grow so many things grow vertically, and in a vertical garden, you can just fit so much more food in a small space than you can in a flat garden. I'm 58. I don't want to bend over that far anymore. So the raised beds for me are a really great way to, get up above the grass and also just make it a little more accessible. You can do beautiful raised beds. You can do simple raised beds. You can buy prefab raised beds, but there's lots of different ways to do that. Okay, go ahead. Next one. All right, so this is one of my last slides, and I know I have a short time. All of you are welcome to reach out to me and ask me more questions and talk about how we can, work together to make the real estate equation work with local solutions. But this is a new client for me. This is a client, 720 acres on Oahu. It's a double watershed. You can see that V shape in the middle, that big watershed that comes down. I have him already positioned in the carbon credits world. He's like the ideal property. It's got invasives, it's got scrubby stuff that needs to be taken out. It was former cattle grazed area. It has a damaged watershed. It's stunningly beautiful. It's in a cacao growing zone. He wants to do agroforestry. But I had a call like a week and a half ago, seriously, from these folks in Costa Rica. They're like, we have $3 to $5 million that needs to be spent in the next 5 days. Who do you have that owns 250 acres that wants to do agroforestry? And the money can be spent on salary, fencing, plants, watershed restoration. They just need to see this long arc of your ability to get the trees in the ground over time. So so go back one more time to that last one. So what's interesting about this is that for most people, they look at this landscape and go, wow, what stunning beauty. And I walk in this landscape and go, oh my God, look at the invasives. And so like what I see here, and I also see a blown out watershed. And at the bottom of this watershed, they just had to spend millions and millions of dollars of state and county money to rebuild the gigantic cement bridge that blew out because the watershed up above was logged. And now when these big rain events come, it just crashes out the stuff below, right? So, when we talk about climate solutions, it's like, you all know this, we're having prolonged droughts followed by gigantic rain events. The trade winds are slowing. Huge humid air masses are building up over the Pacific. And when they finally blow into our mountains, these gigantic rain events come down and they are damaging our land, our watershed, our reefs, and your client's land. It's like, what can we do to help be little pieces of solutions for these changing climate times? Okay, go ahead. So here's how you guys can contact me. Things Lisa and I talked about. This is all from my garden, by the way, as a renter. We could think about doing workshops for agents, like for you guys, for your own backyards, for your own interests. I could come teach you how to plant climate resilient small kind orchards. I'd be happy to do workshops on how to use this kind of language when you're talking with clients and to look at how to read the landscape for that. I'm available for consultations. My friend who's a real estate agent, she brings me along, and when she closes a sale, she gives them a 2-hour consultation with me as a gift to the client. And I charge $125 an hour. I have a 2-hour minimum. So let me see my quick notes. Anything else I wanted to add? Right, so specific buyers with unique interests. The trends, of course, here are that the prices are ridiculously high. And a lot of people are like, they've hit their wall. They're like, honey, I don't want to live in California anymore. Let's get out of here. We've always had this dream to move to Hawaii. Let's go. 30,000 people moved to the Big Island last year, right? That's a lot of people, right? It's like, how are we going to welcome these new residents and help them in a really compassionate way step up to the plate, as people with resources? And, that's sort of the challenge, that throwing down the gauntlet, So when I was out in Kapo a couple of days ago, I'm like, the first thing I want to do in this land is put in a swimming hole, right? I want to have redundant water. I want to cool off in the hot summer. I want to have enough water for my plants. Like they had the well on the ranch broke there. Kapo had no water, all of Kapo. Right. So we have to look at this through, how do we live large on a small, footprint where we are here in the Hawaiian Islands? Okay, I'm sure my time is up. I can talk forever.
No, that was awesome, Jenny. Just a couple things I wanted to highlight, and I couldn't do the chat box while I was, doing like the things to get your slides, which were awesome. I want to point out a couple things you said that I think is really important for the agents. One is, yeah, I know that's something that Tara does, right? She closes a deal and she has you as a consultant. And the other thing I was thinking about, imagine what kind of value you provide. You have a buyer who's looking at property and what those possibilities are of what they may want to do with that property. And you come in as a consultant, and the agent makes that introduction, and you're able to do that for this prospective buyer. I think that's also incredibly valuable. And then of course, I just love the idea of giving this as a gift, especially to people that's something that's important to them, and it's really unique. How many vocabulary words did everybody learn in that? Like every time I talk to Jenny, I learn new words. It's incredible. She's that smart. Okay, so tell me, I really would love to hear, we just have a couple of minutes. I just want to know if anybody has a specific question for you, or if you want to put in the chat box something that you got as a takeaway from Jenny, or something that you're going to do or implement. Okay, some people are already, yeah, okay, so everybody's kind of said how interesting it is, and yeah, we've got her contact info. Anything else that you guys have for Jenny? You want to put that in the chat box, a question or comment? Teresa?
Hi, this is really exciting. Thank you. I do have a question about people who have smaller plots of land. The ones that you showed were quite extensive, or looked expensive. So what about for smaller clients that may just want a small garden?
So my portfolio is really big at this point. I've been at this for almost 30 years. I used to live in Seattle. I've done tons of little backyard edible landscaping things. Same here in the tropics. And I have clients that have thousands of acres. It's like, I'm kind of a senior generalist at this point. So yes, small backyards, container gardens, a couple raised beds, 2 fruit trees with plants in the understory. I do it all. It's just, I don't do the installation. I'm not licensed and bonded to do installations anymore, but I have a short list of people that I really like to work with who understand what I want in the design, and they can so it's like, there's the design, then there's the work plan, and then there's the implementation, right? So there's that arc of like getting the stuff in the ground. And then do they want to take care of it themselves, or do they want someone to help them take care of it over time, right?
That's wonderful.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you. So there is one question Tanya has about how easy is it for you to get over to the Big Island for consults? And we have because we have agents all over.
Yeah, I love to travel inter-island. It's super fun. I have clients on the Big I have clients on Oahu, and I have clients in Kauai right now. So they fly me over. It's nice to go. If I'm going to go, I want to stay overnight. I'm happy to, I don't need to be in a hotel. My per diem for a whole day is $1,000 a day. And, I have corporate accounts on the Mokulele and things like that. So, and I'm flexible within that. So I can do a sliding scale if people don't have money, but if people have money, I expect them to pay at the top end of the sliding scale.
Okay, great. Well, thank you guys so much. We're going to let Jenny go. You've got her contact info, so please feel free to reach out to her. I appreciate what you guys have put in the chat box. Thank you again, Jenny, for being here. Thank you guys for being here. Have a great rest of your week, and we will see you soon. Thanks so much, you guys. Aloha.
Aloha. Thank you for all this. It's wonderful.